Bromance is a tongue-in-cheek term to describe a close friendship between two guys. And according to the book Deep Secrets, boys long for and lose this intimacy as they get older. We asked 3 teenagers who read the book to talk about their friendships and how they've changed through the years.
What are the rules? I mean, I guess it's different for every set of friends, you know.
Men aren't really supposed to show emotion as much.
Always stay with your friends, you know. The guy code, never leave a guy behind for a girl.
You can't be too flamboyant.
You can't really share things that are too personal.
Never telling each other.
Being too effeminate, relating too much to women is kind of a no-no. Yeah, that's not my personal views, but that's part of the guy code.
I've had the same 2-3 best friends my whole life, and I wouldn't say that we lost friendship. We just don't talk about certain things that we used to talk about.
There was a slump in high school where I kind of distanced myself from my friends. Not purposefully, but it just got something that happened.
They don't say they miss me, they just say, where have you been? You haven't been here so long. I haven't seen you.
My younger self was a more open person, and I was more able to express feelings and emotions, whereas now it's sort of like there's some sort of rule that's not what grown men should do.
Guys stay away from expressing themselves because it puts them in a category of gay or girly when it's not really, and we just stay away from that.
We're kind of asked to be the individual, the stoic individual, who can sustain themselves and doesn't need really other people to rely on for emotional support or any kind of support, really.
Niobe Way is the author of Deep Secrets, Boys, Friendships, and the Crisis of Connection. Dr. Josh Weiner is a psychiatrist who works with children and adolescents, and they're both raising boys. Good morning to you. So you're qualified on multiple levels to talk about this. Yeah. And Niobe, I'll start with you. You wrote the book. Right. This is your life's work. You have spent years interviewing hundreds of boys. Tell us what happens at adolescence where boys suddenly become more stoic and kind of leave their friendships.
Yeah, well, it's been completely remarkable to watch. So that boys, when they're 13, 14, and 15, will talk with tremendous affect and emotion about the closeness of their friendships, and then they lose them as they get older into adolescence, talking exactly what the boys were talking about in the film, which is that they feel about that it's going to make them look girly or gay to continue these friendships, and these friendships are so critical for them.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute, but Dr. Weiner, I mean, this is your experience too in your practice. Do you think there's this guy code where there's this drop-off and connecting as boys become adolescents?
Absolutely, I do, and I think it's really unfortunate because with relationships, you get into a relationship or you get out of a relationship what you put into a relationship, and in order to have a really fulfilling, deep relationship, you absolutely need to be talking about some of your feelings and how you feel about your friendship and just how you feel in general about situations in your life. If you're not doing that and you're just talking about video games and sports and girls, it's going to stay at a superficial level.
Yeah, unless we think that we're just being all touchy-feely, saying, oh, we wish boys would be closer with their friends. Friendship has been shown by the science to produce not just emotional benefits, but physical benefits, right?
That's right, right. It's incredible. We now see in the research that friendships are linked to better mental and physical health, longer lives. We live longer lives if we're surrounded by good friends. So it's really linked to all sorts of good things. So we need to take them very seriously.
We're going to get to some tips in the moment. But Dr. Weiner, I mean, if we've got some skeptics in the audience who are saying, well, wait a minute, are we trying to turn boys into girls, basically, or trying to have them have attributes that they otherwise naturally won't have? Your response would be what?
My response would be absolutely not. I mean, why should boys and men not have emotions and feel like they need to talk about them? I think it's absolutely natural, and I think that it's really unfortunate if we send the message to boys that it's really not appropriate, it's not manly, it's not masculine for you to talk about it. I think it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, essentially. You send that message, then men don't talk about it, so you believe men just aren't that emotional.
Well, we've diagnosed the problem. Let's do some treatment. You've got some tips. We'll start with you, Niobe. You say parents should model healthy relationships. What do you mean?
Well, that's probably the hardest thing for parents to hear, but the most necessary, is that they need to model healthy friendships, healthy relationships, so that their kids can see that this is an important part and the complexities of relationships in front of them.
This seems a little bit obvious, but Josh, you say you should openly discuss feelings with your kids.
Right, absolutely. I mean, What's more important than what you say is what you do. So you need to talk about your feelings, and I think you also need to encourage your kids as teenagers to talk to their friends about their feelings. What's way more valuable to a teenager is to hear that their friends are experiencing the same things that they are. It means a lot more to hear from a friend than it does from a parent to say, well, son, what you're really experiencing is pretty normal. It's going to mean a lot more if they hear that from one of their friends.
You guys also say don't reinforce gender stereotypes. And, you know,
right.
we hear it over and over again from boys saying, I don't want to seem like a girl, or I don't want to seem gay. How do you talk to your kids about not using language that might be offensive to some people?
Right. I mean, well, it's really about emphasizing, similar to what Josh was saying, emphasizing these friendships are just a human thing. They're a human need, and they're not associated with one gender or another gender. So it's really showing that the stereotypes are not true, is the conversation we should be having.
All right. And you say, Josh, you should talk to your son about friendships.
Yeah, talk to your son about friendships. You don't want to just be talking about what they've been doing with their day. Talk to them about how they feel about their friendships. Encourage them to share with their friends, hey, you really mean a lot to me. Your friendship with me is really valuable. I think when you do that, it's going to strengthen and deepen the relationship, and oftentimes you're going to get back what you give in that relationship, and they're going to start sharing with you as well.
Makes a lot of sense. An interesting conversation. Niobe Way, Dr. Josh Weiner. Hope it sparks some more conversation. Thank you.
Thanks.